Hello Internet, it's Big Dave here, and it is time for the Roundup. This is the Roundup for the week ending on Saturday, January 14th, 2012. If you're noticing there is a video game playing on your screen, well, yes, you are perceiving the images correctly. It's not going to be my beautifully bearded face for a while because I'm not sure if I told you this last week or not. My kid took my webcam and he swung it around his head like a medieval flail, and ever since then it hasn't really quite functioned consistently. So until we get that issue resolved, it is going to be game footage throwback to the way we used to do the Roundup. And in this particular case, you are seeing footage from Nation Red on your screen. Why Nation Red? Well, because Steam is doing a free-to-play for Nation Red this weekend, and the game is on sale for an absolutely ridiculous price of $2.50. Somewhere on your screen there should be an annotation appearing that'll link you to my video on Nation Red. It'll open a separate window. You can queue it up, maybe watch it later. If you have any questions about Nation Red, that video will answer some of them. I can answer the burning question of, well, what exactly is Nation Red in a nutshell here. It is an isometric zombie horde survival shooter game. It's essentially a dual-stick overhead shooter. It has some interesting takes and some interesting mechanics that I really like, a lot of weapon variety. It has an active community, and the developers are still actively developing this game, looking at the game, and making improvements to the game. So it's really, really promising. If you really want an isometric view zombie shooter, this is without a doubt the cream of the crop of the genre, so I would highly recommend Nation Red. So with those formalities out of the way, let's talk about the week. How was your week, Internet? My week was pretty good. I played some interesting games this week and made some interesting videos, read about some interesting things, and I'll share a lot of that with you right now. So let's talk about the videos that we made this week. We made a video for Guardians of Graxia, and that was most definitely one of the most frustrating things I have ever done in my entire internet video making career. I think the game itself is solid. I would really like to try the physical board game, but from what I could play of the digital interpretation of the physical board game, it was just tedious and ultimately unappealing. I did enjoy the first couple of scenarios that I played, but after that, the battles got so immense that the time investment was so large that it just simply was no longer worth it to me to invest time into the game. I had a lot of frustrations making that video, trying to get something that would kind of tell you what the game is about without going into too much detail, and I tried to walk that line, and sometimes I strayed off of it and sometimes I got back on it, but it was a really, really difficult video to make. I hope you guys like it. It didn't really get a lot of views. That's something I'm going to talk about a little bit later, view counts on my videos. It's not really something that I tend to think about, but it's something that I just wanted to kind of muse on briefly towards the end of the video. So what else did we do this week? Well, we finally launched Free For All, the series where I challenge you guys to beat my highest score in a free game, and I would say it was a moderate success. We had one response really quickly, and another person say that they would respond when their schedule allows, and I know his schedule is kind of wonky, so it may be a week or two before he's actually able to respond. But I was pretty happy with the level of attention the video got, and I was pretty happy with the interactivity, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for with this channel as we move forward. I'm hoping that a few of you guys who I know watch every one of my videos, that we can kind of start a little community here, and then the ones who come and go and pick and choose the videos that they watch, I'm glad to have you here, but that dedicated core of guys, you know, I want to be on your Steam friends list. I want to be playing games with you. I want to be featuring you in content and in videos, and I want to be doing interactive projects like Free For All. So I was really happy with Free For All. Of course, it featured Super Crate Box and the tutorial level where I set a score of 125 crates, and make no mistake, I'm not going to win the prize here. Someone else is going to win the prize, so even if no one beats my score, somebody's still going to win. So there's a prize of approximate value, let's say $5 to $15 on the line here. So, you know, it's something I'm trying to do with the subscriber base to keep things interesting, and I hope that you will choose to participate. Of course, I wouldn't expect anyone to go out of their way to participate if they don't feel compelled to, so if you'd like to, go ahead. I'll probably leave the contest up another week or two, at least until the Nitro Mountain posts his response or confirms that he won't be able to post a response. I want to give him the opportunity, and then moving forward, I want to do about 1 to 2 free-for-alls per month. So that'll be regular content here. We'll do about 1 to 2 per month, probably more like 1, and just sort of let it ride for a month, and then, you know, declare the winner at the appropriate time. So thanks you guys for participating. Thanks for watching the video. Just thanks for being here and subscribing to my channel and listening to my inane ramblings. So let's talk some more about things that I saw this week outside of the channel. So the Independent Games Festival announced their finalists in all their categories. This is the, I believe, 14th annual Independent Games Festival. They actually hold a physical festival in March where they crown their top game. A lot of different categories. Some of the games that I've played this past year made it into finalist spots in some of the categories. Off the top of my head, I know Frozen Synapse is up for the grand prize, and Atom Zombie Smasher, I think, is in a finalist in design. So a lot of really interesting stuff. Some games I've played, many that I have never even heard of. And I think what I'm going to try to do is at least grab a couple of games off of the grand prize slate and try to play those for you next week, so look out for that. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Spelunky for sure, because I've already downloaded that, but other than that, I'm not really sure if I'll get to any of the other games. So a lot of interesting things coming out of the Independent Game Festival. I believe March 7th is when they will announce their winners, and there's a lot of games on that list that you will see featured on this channel in the next 6 months or so. So keep your heads up, your eyes open, I guess, for a lot of really, really fantastic independent games here on the channel, and keep your eyes on IGF.com if you want to know about who takes home the grand prize, and the prizes in the different categories, including excellence in audio, excellence in design, so forth and so on. IGF also announced their top picks in their student showcase category, and there was a lot of promising looking games in this category, and I really, really look forward to trying out some of them. But this category also reminded me of something. It reminded me of the DigiPen Institute of Technology. DigiPen, some of you might know from Total Biscuit. He did a video not too long ago, near the end of last year, called for a game called Nitronic Rush. It was sort of a stunt racer, very colorful, and it was from DigiPen. It was from the students over at the DigiPen Institute of Technology. These students are creating some fantastic looking games. As it is with student projects, some of it is a little artsy, but many of the games are really well made, and I've been looking over, in fact poring over, the dozens and dozens of games that are on the DigiPen website, and I'm going to start featuring some of these games regularly. I'll probably do short, maybe 5-minute videos that will feature games from the DigiPen Institute, because a lot of these games don't have a whole lot of depth to them, being that they are student projects. So I will be doing small 5-minute videos or so that will feature some of these games and try to highlight ones that you might enjoy. I'm also going to use a few of these games for the free-for-all coming up in the future, so a lot of interesting games at DigiPen. It is definitely worth your time. I'll probably put a link to that in the description below. So a lot of news coming out of the Independent Games Festival, from their main category announcements of finalists to the student showcase. So a whole lot going on with IGF. So on the complete opposite end of the spectrum from the IGF, let's talk about EA and a couple of their upcoming AAA titles. Now, I know that doesn't sound like something I would normally talk about, but let me explain. I have my show Try It, where I play demos of games that wouldn't normally qualify for the channel. And this is news about demos. You see, if you play the demo for Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning, you unlock an item in the full retail version of Mass Effect 3, and the same is true for the demo of Mass Effect 3. You unlock an item in Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. So my question to you is this going to make you any more likely to play the game? I mean, to play the demo specifically? Do you play demos? Do you care about demos? Will this inspire you to actually try the demo? I mean, me personally, I don't know if I'm going to get either one of these games, but I would take a chance on downloading the demo and playing through it just to try it out and maybe unlock a game. I mean, I'm probably going to get Mass Effect 3, let's be honest. Kingdoms of Amalur, I'm just kind of done with the fantasy RPG genre, so I'm probably not going to do that, but I'll play the demo if it means I get something free in Mass Effect 3. So that's an interesting take, and I thought that was an eye-catching bit of news that I didn't see a lot of people really talking about this week. So have an opinion? I'd love it if you share it in the comments below. So I've just got a couple of quick things before I let you guys go, and we will be all done here. And the first thing I want to talk about is what I mentioned earlier, view counts. So view counts on my videos, I find it interesting to sort of track what gets views and what doesn't. Every now and then I'll have a video that gets more views than I have subscribers, and that's always interesting because it lets me know that for whatever reason the video I made was topical enough that someone found it by searching on YouTube. Most everything that I do is watched by my subscribers, and everything gets anywhere between 25 and 80 views. So it's interesting. I wonder if you guys have any input, if you'd like to give me any input on the sort of stuff that you'd like to see on the channel, because I noticed something like Guardians of Graxia, which I know a couple of people actually specifically requested, and it might be a little bit dry, the video itself, the content. for some of you, but a few people actually requested that, and I noticed it didn't get that many views versus my Super Crate Box free-for-all video, which got a decent amount of views. And, you know, I would really like it to get to a point on this channel where I can average 50 views of video. I don't really care so much about getting hundreds or thousands of views on my videos, but if I was getting 50, that at least lets me know that roughly a third of my subscriber base is enjoying the stuff that I'm doing. So if you have any suggestions for content that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions for how I might better produce or present my content here on the channel, definitely let me know in the comments below or by personal message here on the YouTube. And finally, I just wanted to end up by talking a little bit about the week ahead. Next week should be, if everything goes to plan, the biggest week in Big Dave is Cheap history in terms of content. Now, how are we going to get there? Well, that's a little bit of a surprise, so I don't want to spoil that, but I will tell you we're going to do the 2 normal videos. And as I said earlier, one of those is most likely going to be Spelunky, one of the finalists for the grand prize of this year's IGF competition. The other video will be Nuclear Dawn. Now, Nuclear Dawn was featured in the background of last week's roundup, and I've had some interest in it, specifically from Matt over at Impromptu Gaming, so I'm going to go ahead and make a full video on it. I'm definitely going to do the experience of being a soldier. I don't know if I'll manage to get the commander. The commander is the unique role that plays more like an RTS within that game. Otherwise, it's an objective-driven FPS. So we're going to do that next week along with Spelunky. And we will also, of course, be doing our special surprise if everything goes to plan, and we will put out a crap load of videos. One last thing before I go, because I forgot to do this earlier, an amazing and huge thank you to Matt from Impromptu Gaming for participating in the free-for-all. I really owe you one on that. I really, really appreciate that. You have no idea how much that means to me that you took the time out of your day and out of your schedule to do that. So thanks a whole lot for that. And otherwise, I think that's going to do it for us, guys. I have been Big Dave, and as always, take it easy.